Peak English Podcast.
From Peak English with Class. Peak English Podcast. Hey, English learners, welcome back to the Peak English Podcast, your cozy place to learn easy English through real-life conversations and improve your life at the same time. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Alex. And as always, we're really happy you decided to spend a little bit of your day with us. Before we jump in, I want to remind you about something important. This is a B1 to B2 level English podcast. So if you don't understand every word, just relax. You can always listen again.
Yeah, exactly. It is totally okay to miss a few words. Learning a language takes time, right, Alex?
Right. It is a long journey, Sarah. And speaking of long journeys, today we are talking about something we all carry with us on our journey: pressure.
Oh, wow. Pressure. Just hearing that word makes my shoulders feel tight.
I know, right? We feel it everywhere. Pressure from school, pressure from work, pressure from our families.
Yeah, and even pressure from ourselves. Sometimes I feel like I am drowning in it. Like, I can't breathe because there's so much to do.
Drowning in it. That is a great idiom, Sarah. To drown in something means you have too much of it and you feel like you cannot survive it. Like being underwater.
Right. For example, last week I was drowning in emails. I had over 200 unread messages.
That sounds terrible. But yes, a perfect example. Many of you listening probably feel like you are drowning in pressure right now, too. You might ask yourself, how can I reduce this pressure? How can I get rid of it?
Yes, please tell me how to get rid of it, Alex. I really need to know.
Well, here is the unexpected truth. You cannot get rid of pressure.
Wait, really? We just have to suffer forever?
No, not suffer. But today, I am going to share a totally different way to look at it. Instead of running away from pressure, we are going to learn how to live with it and actually turn it into your biggest motivation.
Wow, turning pressure into motivation. That sounds amazing.
It is. And by the end of this episode, you will have a simple, step-by-step way to handle even your heaviest days.
But before we get to the core of the episode, it is time for our reflection challenge.
Exactly. We want to hear from you, our listeners.
Today's question is, what is the biggest pressure you are facing right now, and how does it make you feel? Write your answer in the comments below. Start by saying, I'm name from country, and today I feel...
For example, you could write, I'm Alex from the UK, and today I feel overwhelmed by my final exams.
Or, I'm Sarah from Canada, and today I feel stressed about finding a new job.
We love reading your comments. It shows us that we are not alone in this journey.
Yeah, it really makes this channel feel like a safe space for everyone. Okay, Alex, let's get into it. You said we cannot get rid of pressure. But honestly, sometimes I just want to escape. Like last year, my parents really wanted me to take an advanced management course. I hated it. Every time I opened the book, I felt so much pressure.
Ah, I see. That is a very common situation, Sarah. The pressure you felt there is what we call extrinsic motivation.
Wait, what does extrinsic mean? That sounds like a big academic word.
Good catch. Let's break it down into simple English. Extrinsic motivation means the drive or the reason comes from the outside. It is when you do something because other people expect you to do it, like your parents wanting you to take that course.
Oh, I get it. So the motivation is not from my own heart. It is from someone else.
Exactly. And when you do things just to please others, the pressure feels incredibly heavy. Let me share a story. When I was in my 20s, I knew so many smart students. They won international awards. They got into famous universities. Everyone admired them.
Wow, they must have been so proud.
You would think so, but actually, many of them were miserable.
Miserable? Really? Why?
Because they only applied to those famous schools to make their parents happy. They did not actually want to go there. And studying at a top university is already super hard. But it is 10 times harder when you hate it.
Oh, that makes sense. If you don't love what you are doing, every assignment feels like a punishment.
Right. Have you ever been pushed onto a dangerous roller coaster ride, Sarah?
Oh my gosh, yes. My friends dared me to go on this huge roller coaster once. I was so scared. I didn't want to do it, but they kept calling me a chicken.
Calling you a chicken? That is a funny idiom.
Yeah, calling someone a chicken means calling them a coward, someone who is easily scared.
Exactly. So you got on the roller coaster because of peer pressure, right?
Yes. And the moment the ride started moving, I realized it was a huge mistake. I had to suffer for 2 whole minutes, screaming my lungs out, just waiting for it to end.
That is exactly what happens when you follow extrinsic motivation. You step onto a ride you don't want to be on, and once it starts, you cannot just step off immediately.
Wow, you have to ride it all the way to the end, feeling awful the whole time.
Exactly. But what if you actually wanted to go on the roller coaster? What if it was your own dream?
Well, then the scary parts wouldn't feel like a punishment. They would feel like an exciting adventure.
Spot on, Sarah. And that brings us to the first tiny habit or mindset shift. Before you take on any new pressure, stop and ask yourself, is this my dream or someone else's? If it is your dream, that is intrinsic motivation. It comes from inside you.
Intrinsic motivation. Okay, so if the pressure is for my own dream, I can handle it.
Yes, you will still feel pressure, but it will feel like a challenge you want to win, not a punishment.
That is such a good way to look at it. But what if the pressure is from a project that is already failing? Like, what if you are already on the bad roller coaster?
That is a very realistic question, Sarah, and it leads us perfectly into our next point.
Good, because I have definitely stayed on bad roller coasters for way too long. Like, a few years ago, I started a small online business selling handmade candles.
Oh, I didn't know that. How did it go?
It was a disaster. I spent so much money on wax and glass jars, but nobody bought them. Month after month, I was losing money. But I kept trying because I didn't want to feel like a failure.
That is completely understandable. It is so hard to let go of something you worked hard on. In business and in psychology, we call this the sunk cost fallacy.
Sunk cost fallacy? Can you explain that simply?
Of course, imagine you buy a ticket for a movie. After 30 minutes, you realize the movie is terrible. You hate it, but you stay until the end because you already paid for the ticket.
Oh, so you waste your time just because you already wasted your money.
Exactly. The money is sunk. It is already gone. But you keep suffering anyway. I have seen this happen with huge startup companies too. A company might spend millions of dollars on a 5-year project. But after 3 years, it is clear the project is failing. No money is coming in.
Yikes, that sounds incredibly stressful for the CEO.
It is a nightmare. You feel like you cannot breathe. Every month, the financial reports look worse. Your team is tired. Some good employees leave, but others want to keep fighting because they already worked on it for 3 years.
So what do? Do you finish the 5 years?
No, this is where you need incredible courage. The bravest thing you can do is to cut your losses.
Cut your losses. That means stopping an activity to prevent losing more money or time, right?
Perfect explanation, Sarah. Yes, you have to close the project. You might face heavy criticism. People will be angry. But it is better to feel a huge pain once than a slow, dragging pain for 2 more years.
Wow. Better to feel a huge pain once than a slow, dragging pain. That is deep.
So, our second tiny habit is this. Give yourself permission to fail. When a project or a path is clearly a dead end, stop. Accept the loss. Letting go of a mistake is often the best way to free yourself from unnecessary pressure.
I really needed to hear that. I wish I had stopped making those candles much sooner. But Alex, what if the problem isn't a failing project? What if you are just doing too many good things at the same time? But Alex, what if the problem isn't a failing project? What if you are just doing too many good things at the same time? Like, right now, I am working a full-time job, trying to learn a new language, going to the gym, and helping my sister with her business. I feel like I am going to explode.
Ah, yes, you are biting off more than you can chew.
Oh, that is a great idiom. To bite off more than you can chew. It means you try to do a task that is too big or too difficult for you. Like taking a giant bite of a sandwich and you can't even swallow it.
Exactly. For example, if you promise to cook a massive dinner for 20 people, but you have never cooked before, you bit off more than you could chew.
Yes, that would be a disaster. But isn't it good to be ambitious?
Yes, it is. Actually, many people say taking on too many tasks is a bad thing, but I disagree.
Wait, really? You think it is good to be stressed with a million tasks?
Well, it is good if you know how to manage it. Let me share my daily life with you. I sit on the board of directors for two companies. I am helping two startups with their operations, and I invest in many tech companies.
Oh my goodness. That is already 3 full-time jobs.
It gets worse. I also run 3 YouTube channels. And on top of that, I have 2 young children in primary school who need my time, my help with studies, and my emotional support.
Just listening to your schedule is making me feel tired, Alex.
I know! And here is the thing. When you start a new, exciting project, it feels fun. But as time passes, the project grows. It demands more time. Soon, you have 5 or 6 projects, all growing at the same time. You start to feel suffocated.
Yes, exactly. You feel like you cannot breathe.
I have been there, Sarah. I have had days where I wake up from a deep sleep, and the first thing I see is my calendar. It is full of meetings and my kids' activities. And honestly, I just want to close my eyes and go back to sleep.
I have definitely felt that way before. So, how do you survive it? Do you just quit some of the projects?
No. The secret to living with this pressure is not dropping your projects. It is about setting strict priorities.
Strict priorities? Like making a to-do list?
Better than a to-do list. It is about creating boundaries that are non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. That is a strong word. If something is non-negotiable, it means you cannot change it or argue about it. It is an absolute rule.
Perfect. For example, brushing your teeth every day is non-negotiable. You just have to do it.
Right. So, how do you use non-negotiable rules in your busy life?
I divide my day very clearly. After I drop my kids at school, I work from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. But at 3 p.m., no matter how busy I am, I stop working. I go pick up my kids. That time is for them.
Wow, so you never take evening meetings?
Never. The time after 3 p.m. is non-negotiable. My kids are my #1 priority. When you make strict rules like this, your brain stops worrying. You don't have to choose between work and family every single day.
That makes so much sense. Because making choices is what causes the pressure.
Exactly. If you know you only have 6 hours to work, you focus 100% during those 6 hours. And another tiny habit for this, do not start all your projects at the same time.
What do you mean?
If you want to learn a language and start a business, start the business first. Let it run smoothly for a few months. Create a system. Once it only takes a little bit of your time every day, then you add the language learning.
Okay, I get it. So, set non-negotiable time limits and build your projects one by one. Don't rush them all at once.
Exactly. That is how you carry a heavy load without breaking your back.
Okay, Alex, that covers the pressure of having too much to do. But what about the pressure of failing?
The pressure of failing. That is a heavy one. Give me an example, Sarah.
Well, let's say you study incredibly hard for a university entrance exam. You put your whole heart into it, and then you fail. You get a rejection letter. It feels like your life is over.
I understand that pain completely. It feels like a door has been permanently locked and you are stuck outside.
Yes, like all your friends are walking through that door and you are just left behind.
This happens because we make a very dangerous mistake, Sarah. We put all our eggs in one basket.
Put all your eggs in one basket. I know this idiom. It means you put all your hopes, efforts, or money into one single thing. And if that one thing fails, you lose everything.
Exactly. For example, if you apply to only one job and they say no, you have no other options. But emotionally, it is even worse. We start to define ourselves by our achievements.
Define ourselves? You mean we think our worth is equal to our grades or our job title?
Yes, if you pass the test, you feel like a valuable person. If you fail, you feel worthless. I have seen this happen with students who apply to top schools like Oxford or Cambridge.
Mm-hmm.
When they receive a rejection letter, they lose all their confidence. They lose their direction in life. They feel like a complete failure.
That is so sad. Because getting into Oxford is extremely hard anyway.
Exactly. And if you look at their lives 20 years later, you realize something amazing. The world is huge, Sarah. It is full of different doors.
So, closing one door isn't the end?
Not at all. I know people who failed to get into Oxford for their undergraduate degree. So they went to a different school, like LSE. Then they went to Stanford for their PhD. And eventually, they went back to Oxford to teach.
Wow, wait, really? They went back to teach there?
Yes, their journey was longer, but it was much more interesting. On the other hand, I know people who did get into those top schools immediately.
Did they have perfect lives?
No, some of them define themselves purely by that famous degree. They stopped learning, they stopped pushing themselves, and eventually, people from normal schools passed them by in their careers.
That is so powerful. Because it means a rejection letter doesn't define your future. Your actions define your future.
Exactly, Sarah. So, the tiny habit here is this: separate your identity from your goals. You are not your job. You are not your exam score.
I am just me. And if I fail a test, I am just a person who needs to study a different way.
Exactly. Be sad for a little bit, close the book on that failure, and look for the next door.
Phew, that was a really deep conversation today, Alex.
It really was, Sarah. We covered a lot of heavy emotional ground today.
So, before we jump into the word tour, I think we should do a quick recap. Summarizing everything always helps my brain remember the lessons.
That is a fantastic idea. Repetition is the key to learning, after all. Do you want to start with the first tiny habit?
Yes, I would love to. Our first habit was about finding your intrinsic motivation. We learned that before you accept a stressful challenge, you must ask yourself, is this my dream or is it someone else's dream?
Exactly. If the pressure comes from your own heart, you can survive it. But if you are doing it just to please your parents or society, you will feel trapped.
Right. Like being stuck on a terrible roller coaster. And what was the second habit, Alex?
The second habit was all about courage, specifically the courage to accept the loss. When a project or a goal is clearly failing, do not keep going just because you already spent time on it.
Ah, yes. The sunk cost fallacy. We have to give ourselves permission to stop, close the door, and move on. It saves us from years of extra pain.
Spot on. Then, for our third habit, we talked about people who take on too many projects. The solution is not to quit your dreams. The solution is to build a strict system of priorities.
Yes, you need to create non-negotiable boundaries. Like saying, I will only work until 3 o'clock, and then I focus on my family. No arguments, no exceptions.
You have a great memory today, Sarah. And finally, our fourth habit was, do not define yourself by your achievements.
That one really touched my heart. It is so easy to feel worthless if you fail a big exam or get rejected from a job.
It is easy to feel that way, yes. But the world is huge, and it has many doors. Your value as a human being is not measured by a single test score or a fancy university degree.
Exactly! We are all valuable, no matter what. Wow, I feel so much lighter after reviewing those 4 steps.
All right, everyone. Now it is time for my favorite part of the show, the word tour.
Yay! This is where we pick the most useful idioms and phrases from today's chat. We will explain them simply, give you examples, and practice saying them together.
We have 5 great phrases today. Let's start with number 1, to drown in something.
To drown in something.
Literally, to drown means to die underwater because you cannot breathe. But as an idiom, it means to have so much of something that you feel completely overwhelmed and unable to handle it.
Right. It is usually used with things like work, debt, or emails. For example, after my 1-week vacation, I came back to the office and I was drowning in paperwork.
Great example. Here is another one. The young couple bought a house that was too expensive, and now they are drowning in debt.
Okay, listeners, now it is your turn to practice. Repeat after me. I was drowning in paperwork.
I was drowning in paperwork.
They are drowning in debt.
They are drowning in debt. Awesome job, everyone. Okay, let's move to phrase number 2. To call someone a chicken.
Oh, this one is so funny. To call someone a chicken. If you call someone a chicken, you are saying they are a coward. You are saying they are too scared to do something.
Yes, it is a very common informal way to tease someone, especially among friends. For example, imagine you are at a high diving board at a swimming pool. Your friend might yell, "Jump, don't be a chicken."
Oh, I have definitely heard that before. Here is another example. He wanted to ask her on a date, but he was too much of a chicken to do it.
Perfect. All right, listeners, get ready to speak. Repeat after me. Jump, don't be a chicken.
Jump, don't be a chicken.
He was too much of a chicken.
He was too much of a chicken. Excellent. Phrase number 3 is a very important one for business and life. To cut your losses.
To cut your losses. This means to stop doing something that is failing so you do not lose any more money, time, or energy. You accept that you already lost something, but you stop the bleeding before it gets worse.
Yes, just like my terrible candle business. For example, the project was losing thousands of dollars every month, so the company decided to cut their losses and shut it down.
That is a very professional example, Sarah. Here is a more personal one. I watched a movie for an hour, but it was so boring. I decided to cut my losses and go to sleep.
Haha, I love that one. Okay, let's practice, everyone. Repeat after me. They decided to cut their losses.
They decided to cut their losses.
I decided to cut my losses and go to sleep.
I decided to cut my losses and go to sleep. Very good. Moving on to phrase number 4. To bite off more than you can chew.
To bite off more than you can chew. This is such a visual idiom. It means you try to do a task or a project that is too big, too difficult, or too much for you to handle.
Yes, like stuffing your mouth with so much food that you cannot possibly eat it all. For example, by agreeing to work 2 full-time jobs, I think Alex really bit off more than he could chew.
Hey, that sounds like a true story. Here's another example. She promised to bake 50 cakes for the party, but she definitely bit off more than she could chew.
All right, listeners, let's build that muscle memory. Repeat after me. I think Alex bit off more than he could chew.
I think Alex bit off more than he could chew.
She definitely bit off more than she could chew.
She definitely bit off more than she could chew. You guys are doing great. We have one final phrase for today. To put all your eggs in one basket.
To put all your eggs in one basket. This means to put all your effort, all your money, or all your hopes into one single plan. It is dangerous, because if that one basket drops, you lose every single egg. You lose everything.
Exactly. You should always have a backup plan. For example, when investing your money, do not put all your eggs in one basket. You should buy different types of stocks.
Very smart financial advice, Sarah. Here is an example for students. She only applied to one university. I told her not to put all her eggs in one basket.
Okay, everyone, last practice round for today. Repeat after me. Do not put all your eggs in one basket.
Do not put all your eggs in one basket.
She only applied to one university.
She only applied to one university. Fantastic work, everyone. You just learned 5 native-level idioms. And that brings us to the end of today's deep dive into pressure and motivation.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Whether you are listening while cooking dinner, commuting on a crowded train, or just lying in bed resting your eyes, we appreciate you.
We really do. We know your time is valuable, and we are honored that you chose to spend it learning with us today. If this episode helped you feel a little less stressed, please do us a quick favor.
Yes! Please hit the like button and subscribe to the Peak English podcast. It is completely free, and it helps our small channel grow so we can keep making these episodes for you.
And if you enjoyed learning about how to handle pressure, you are going to love our next topic. We actually have a very specific video that goes perfectly with today's lesson.
Oh? Which one is it?
If you found this helpful, click on the next video on the screen to learn about Stop Complaining and Start Building. In that episode, we talk about why blaming the economy won't make you rich and how you need to focus only on the things you can actually control.
Oh, that is such a powerful topic. Stop complaining and take control. I definitely need to listen to that one again.
It is a great one. So click the video on your screen right now and we will see you over there.
This is Sarah.
And this is Alex.
You've been listening to the Peak English podcast. Bye!
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your Speak English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.